Right, well, the second video today. I've been watching Comic Relief, Red Nose Day, which is a TV charity, a thon, in the United Kingdom on BBC TV, for children, mainly I think it's children, or it could be for people, generally people who are suffering in both the UK and Africa. And it's very sad, and I suppose it's unfortunate that is only like once a year. I know there's other charities that show these things and we see what's going on in our world, and then the next day we forget. And I know I've said this many times on here and in my poems. It's a common theme that I talk about, which I keep repeating in the hope that one day someone, the people of influence of the next generation, may hear these words. Is all I can do. Is about the fact that our life is God-given, or if it's not, then it is still given freely. We are all one. We live in different countries that we've chosen to divide. It is not meant to be like that. It is the way it is because we have decided it. And it was very interesting in this short clip they showed of in Africa, of a oxygen machine that has 3 nasal outputs, and there was 4 young children under 5, maybe 3 I think. There were 4 of them. They were under 5, and they only had 3 nozzles, so they could only give oxygen to 3 of those children. And the doctor, who was crying, had to decide which child to lose. And the video, they mentioned how this was a unnecessary death, an unnecessary disease. It's not something that it's not incurable. It is something that that there is a way of curing it, and it shouldn't be like this. And then obviously it asks for the viewers to donate. Now the thing I have the problem with these charities, well, not the charities, the sense that it's put to the public to give money for these situations, but there doesn't seem to be, and I wish these charities would address this issue, that it is the world we live in, the world we choose to live in, that is the reason for this suffering. Because we live, if we look at it from we live on a planet that can sustain 60 billion people, or whatever the number, 600 billion, or whatever the number is, many more than we have. We only have 6 billion. It can support all of those. Obviously, it's all this. This support is dotted around the planet, and different parts are owned by different people. But nevertheless, the planet itself can support everyone easily that is upon it, in whether it's to do with health or land to live. But we've decided this life that we live. We've decided that, I mean, in the instance of those children, these oxygen things, there is no need for any child to die like that, because we could build as many of these oxygen tanks as necessary if we decided what our real goal should be, that we should be working together, not apart, that we shouldn't be divided, that we choose, each of us, and especially more so those who are in the seats of power. They choose, and their forefathers and their next generation on, if we continue this way, they choose for those children to die by living the way that we choose to live. Yeah, I know it's not easy to change. I know. So, maybe they want to change, but I don't think so, because I don't see it, and I have never seen the change. There's words, and there's, like, we all know that there's billions given in aid, but we also know that the debt that these countries own is double the amount that is given. So anything we give will never solve the problem, because the debt that we charge is double the time that we give. So even though we know that European and American countries give billions of pounds to Africa and this, that and the other, but the amount they charge back is more than that, so they'll always stay in poverty. Why is this poverty always continuing? Because of that. We choose to live like this. We choose to let people die. We have vaccines. But instead of distributing all the vaccines to everyone by making medicine not have a price tag, but instead what we do is we decide to sell them. We decide to make thousands of different products that, people can put on their face, that, different mechanical objects, a million different variations of a TV, all these wastes of human endeavour just for our own greed, for our own sustenance of this life that we've inherited. But it needn't be that way. So when that advert, the video on Red Nose Day Comic Relief 2011 shows that this is that this needn't have happened, they really should then say, well, why needn't it happen? What? Yeah, okay, fine. We can give money to be able to give these extra oxygen tanks, but that's not enough. We need to stop the problem that started this. We need to readdress how we all live, how we choose to live, and especially those in power. And I know, me saying this on YouTube is not going to make any difference whatsoever, unless, the people of the future see these things and then actually think, yes, we should be looking after all of us, and we can do it. And it just amazes me that, we blind ourselves to this fact, that we know the way we live it is not the right way. We live for greed, we live for power. We live for the throne. We don't live for the individual, we don't live for humanity. It just, it really... Because these charities aren't going to stop the problem. They will help it, but it's a band-aid. It's not going to stop the bleeding. And as we know, we live on a planet which can support anyone. We have enough people to be able to manufacture all the health aids we need. No child needs to die of, look, if a child in the West doesn't die because we have all the equipment, because we're a wealthy country, what excuse do we have that in poor countries that's happening? If we want to live in the way we live, or fractured like we do, which I don't think will be how we live in the future, I think we will understand that we are rather cavemanish and uncivilized and unhumane in the way we live at this present time and have lived. And I don't think it will always be that way. But if we are going to choose to live in this way, then at least can't we just say that where it comes to housing and medicine, that these things are taken out of the equation, and it doesn't matter where you come from, that we all have the duty as human beings to maintain that everyone has the ability to live. And yes, it's easy for the members of the public to support this and help out, and it's very good, but the pressure should be put on the governments of the world who believe they are good and are helping out to change these things, to really change them properly, and to address this issue. It just seems so... We live the way we live, and that is why people needlessly suffer and die. And if we don't choose to address that, then what kind of humans are we? And it's our legacy, each one of us. Because in the future, they will look back at us as we look back on our past, and we see how barbaric and uncivilized they were compared to us. And imagine what they're going to say about us, of those in power, who at the moment we all praise. But in the future they won't be praised if they continue for us to live this way. Take care, take it easy, God bless, and peace.